It's bro. In the morning, we're gonna have a deep conversation here, like we do every once in a while, and continue to have dialogue around some of the more pressing, heated issues and conversations happening around the United States in hip hop and with us. We have two young men from Baltimore here with us. I want you to introduce yourselves, talk about the organization, what you guys are involved in. Go ahead, brother.
My name is Orlando Gilliard. Everybody call me Magic. I'm a Baltimore artist, part-time activist in the city. I do work. Me and my brother do work.
And what's your name, sir?
I'm Gary Johnson, also born and raised in Baltimore, Maryland. And we out here just trying to show everybody that we can stick together, man.
Now, the reason we're having this conversation, you do have some music, so let's let the audience know about that. But the music that you're making is bringing attention to the things that are happening in Baltimore. So I wanted you guys to come up, give you this platform, so we can have a deep dialogue, because you guys are born and raised in Baltimore.
Born and raised.
The Freddie Gray incident, when that took place, and there was outrage, you guys as individuals that are from this community, were you guys surprised at this incident, or is this something that's been taking place that finally got caught on camera?
It was more so of an issue of something that's been going on forever and just finally got caught on camera. This is nothing that we're not used to. We used to being harassed by the police. We used to this systematic problem. This is nothing new to us.
And why, you know, you take somebody like Freddie Gray, who I think everyone agrees did not deserve to die, no matter what his arrest record was.
Right.
He didn't deserve to die, and he didn't deserve to die like that.
Right.
And to that degree. When you say you're being harassed by the police, what are some of the things that police are harassing people for?
Just being in neighborhoods where they know it's a high drug activity area. You know, I might just be standing outside, me and the bros, and they just pull up. What you doing? Hands against the wall.
Everybody catch a pat down.
Everybody catching pat downs.
Now there's you obviously, I've never lived in Baltimore, but you think about the show The Wire, right? Where, you know, people say that was a real depiction of life down there.
Absolutely.
So do you feel like the police, while they aren't, you know, warranted to harass people, there's definitely evidence that there's behavior going on in Baltimore for drug trafficking and people with petty drug crimes all the time? And that's part of the lifestyle. Do you guys feel like they're cracking down on things? Like, talk to me about that, because if cats is selling drugs, unfortunately, you know, you live in a bad neighborhood, you'd be like, yo, man, I can't go outside my house and hang out with my friends in my neighborhood without having a problem. But on the other side, I would say, well, in your neighborhood, people selling drugs and committing crimes. And that's why the police is there. So talk to me about that from both sides, because I know you're smart enough to know that there's both sides of that conversation.
Absolutely, and there's consequences for everything. But I look at it like this: who are they to judge and pull up and say, well, he's selling drugs? I know he's selling drugs,
right.
Even if they don't know. Now, you know, they have their ones who they know. I know this guy is selling drugs. You know, we locked them up a million times. But at the end of the day, I think they come into our neighborhoods with their minds already made up. Okay, we're gonna bust these guys that selling drugs. Not, I'm trying to protect the community, or let me protect these guys. They're not worrying about jumping out and getting involved, playing ball with us, or
having a relationship.
Having a relationship is strictly,
I don't like you guys.
Y'all selling drugs, y'all criminals, y'all going to jail. I'm getting you out of here. I don't think it should be like that.
And so let's take conversation a step further, because, you know, police were seeing, and those of us that have lived in the hood and know people that have lived that life know that the police brutality against black men is something that's been going on forever, since I can remember. My father, my grandfather, they all experienced that. But now that cell phones and things like that, we're able to show the world, look, this is the behavior that's taking place. And people are up in arms and appalled and all of these things. But in some police precincts, it's racially motivated, we feel like. Like, you look at a Ferguson, felt like race, right? But you look at Baltimore, and you see a hierarchy of black police chiefs and black politicians, where you go, wait a minute, so this one isn't race. This one is actually a class issue. So I'm jumping out on a limb here. I would assume that area where Freddie Gray died, they're attempting to gentrify that area, change it over, I'm sure, right? And so, or am I off base?
No, you're absolutely correct. And it's been going on in that area for maybe 20 years now.
Where they've been trying to push poor people out so they could take the property and redo it and sell it to people with more money.
Correct. They actually started maybe in 95 or 96, and they tore down about 6 or 7 high-rise
tenements,
projects.
Yeah.
And then when they did that, they started moving everybody, like you said, to the outskirts on the outside of the city limits. And now in the area where the situation happened it's probably 40 or 50% actually vacant. And other than the vacant homes, they're on their projects and just low income areas around there. So it's high poverty and high crime.
And for the audience watching and listening to this, I was explaining to these gentlemen that it's happening all around the United States. It's happening here in Staten Island, the area where Eric Garner was killed. You know, the police come in and they put pressure on the individuals hanging out outside, and it's the atmosphere and the tone is basically, we don't want you here, we want you to move. And the reason they want you to move is most of the time because they want to knock down the buildings, build up some condos so that rich people can move in, because I'm sure that that's closer to downtown in some way. So rich people don't want to commute an hour. They don't want to live in the suburbs anymore, right? They want to live closer to downtown, closer to their jobs because they got money, right? And they don't want to have to, they want to take public transportation. They don't want to have to drive because they can help the environment that way. These are rich people problems. Well, it's all of our problems, but it's something that more rich people get to be concerned with. And what ends up happening is something like this, where the police start putting so much pressure on the neighborhood and mess around and fuck around and kill somebody.
Exactly.
And so then now the community's outraged and wondering, okay, why are y'all treating us like this? When you really dig deep and you know, I always tell people, follow the money and you'll figure out what's really going on. They want to improve that area by building newer buildings so that they can get the tax dollars, so that they can improve roads and infrastructure and attract businesses back to Baltimore.
Right.
And they feel like those low-income people are, you know, inhibiting their ability to get paid, basically.
Standing in the way.
And standing in the way. Am I?
You're absolutely right. And right now, that's why it's so big that we unify right now. Because it's about raising the standard of us as people, of us as black people. There's no disrespect to any other race, but I feel like this is mainly a black issue in our city right now. We gotta raise the standard of our people, so that they won't look at it like that. Like,
because when you talk about Baltimore, not to cut you off, most of the low-income people in Baltimore, most of the people in Baltimore is black.
Black, yeah.
You know what I mean, that's just what it is.
Demographic.
That's the demographic. And then obviously most of the low-income people is black.
All black.
So is it a black issue or is it a class issue?
I would think it's more so of a class issue, but it goes hand in hand, really.
Right.
Like I said, we just gotta raise the standard of our mentality and how.
What do you mean by that?
How we talk to each other, how we think as far as business, as far as family, as far as everything. Like, we really gotta elevate our mind and become critical thinkers, because right now they are outthinking us, and they letting us kill ourselves off. And not only that, they helping us kill each other. So it's like we can't understand the system if we don't understand ourselves. You know, and we going against a bigger problem. And like you said before, it's a systematic problem that's generations and generations and generations deep. So before we even tackle the problem, we got to understand what the problem is and where it comes from. You know,
I tweeted out, or maybe I put on Instagram, I don't remember, either one, probably both, same thing, who I'm talking about. And when the Baltimore thing was happening, I think Donald Trump had said something about to Obama, you know, look, Obama, you know, look what's happening with Black America. Are you proud? Some nonsense. At which my response was, Donald Trump, you're rich and a Republican, right? And people like you and that agree and have your mindset have been taking jobs from America and from American cities for decades and sending them overseas. And Baltimore is one of those specific industrial cities where I'm sure a couple of generations ago, your grandparents moved there from the South to work in the shipyards and to work those factory jobs. And those jobs are gone now. Those businesses are gone overseas so that they can get cheaper labor. And that's Obama's issue. That's Republicans who are voting and allowing those big businesses, those loopholes, to take their businesses overseas and get cheap labor, and leaving these industrial towns and leaving these towns of people who do want to work without a way to you know, get employment and a way to improve their standard of living through working and saving and buying a home and so on. You know, because that's part of what the American process is. You work, you save, you get your credit score up, you buy a home, you know, move your family into that home. Hopefully your neighborhood and your neighborhood community come together to maintain the value and the appearance of that property so that it has some value, so it can be passed on through generations and generations. I mean, that's the process, and that's been halted in a city like Baltimore because there is no jobs.
They took the jobs and created prisons.
Real.
Exactly, and that just goes back to what I was saying about elevating our people, because if we go to school and we learn these things and we get our degrees and we just keep up on our development as a people, then we can get past that and we can open up more jobs for our people. We gotta keep it in the community. We gotta get our communities back, and that's what we at with it. At the end of the day, we trying to get our communities back, and we trying to elevate the mind of our people.
What's the young lady who's is she the prosecutor? In this case,
Marilyn Mosby.
Yeah, Mosby. Yeah. What does she have a relationship with y'all community? Do you guys feel like you guys have a connection to this woman?
Absolutely. Now after she handed down the charges, I think she lifted a big monkey off people's back, because the tensions were thick, and I think just her charging those officers,
and they were charged with murder.
One of them was charged with second-degree murder. That was the highest. That was the highest count. But I just think it took a big monkey off everybody's back.
Because you feel like you have an ally.
We feel like we have an ally, and we just felt like these police were not going to get charged.
Do you guys have faith right now? You feel like they're going to get charged? You feel like the odds in at least one or two of them?
Yeah.
Because there's 6, right?
It's 6 of them. I don't. At this moment, I just don't feel. I'm very optimistic, but I just don't feel that all of them are going to prison. I don't, and that's sad to say, because I know for a fact that if that was me and 5 of my brothers up there,
it's done.
We're done.
Yeah,
no question. Like, all of them are home right now. It was a young brother who broke a car window out of a police car. He had a $500,000 bail. Yeah, his bail was higher than one of the officers.
Well, I saw the story. His parents actually encouraged him to turn himself in.
Yeah.
And then they was trying to charge him with like 4 or 5 years and $500,000 bail. And you know, I felt when I saw the story. And for those of y'all that saw the video, that was the kid that took the traffic cone and was hitting in the window on a police car. I felt like they was trying to make an example out of him.
Exactly.
But we've been made an example out of for generations.
Yeah, like why they got to do that now?
He was 14, 15 years old, you know?
So, moving forward, as you guys wait for this process to kind of play itself out, and you feel like you have an ally. Tell me her name one more game. Mosby.
Yeah, Marilyn Mosby.
Marilyn Mosby. And then her husband is also involved in politics in Baltimore as well.
Yeah.
And but do you guys feel like work is being done in that area where Freddie Gray to improve things, or do you feel like the end result will still be those people get pushed out and they build condos in that section? Because you know they want those tax dollars.
Yeah, they want.
And they want those people to move out of there if that's really what's happening over there.
Well, hopefully we're trying to be a part of the situation where, like he said, we're trying to come back to our communities and be able to own things and be able to prosper in our communities. So it's kind of hard to say what will happen, but with this situation, people's mind frames are kind of turning this point in Baltimore, especially when they saw everybody unifying and they saw the movement and they saw. It's funny that it took a situation like that with the kids uprising and then the rallies and the riots and the marches, but things are seeming to slightly turn a corner. And to understand that is to understand how far gone Baltimore's been for so long. So to see some of these people coming together and their minds changing, some of these young black men specifically, it does give you hope or let you know maybe it is time for change, or maybe some people's eyes are opening up.
It's interesting too, like how infrequently black men see themselves as leaders, right?
Right.
Like you see, like when we get upset and we turn up, everybody stops, right? Everybody's like, "Well, hold up." They upset. Hold up
right.
now. Hold up.
Black man.
Hold up.
But
we don't never turn that, I guess, power into actual leadership and leading our families and our communities.
Right.
We only use it when we angry.
Right.
But we don't never use it as a way to keep our families together, or as a way.
And I think that comes from society. Everybody's so focused on what people are going to think. And that's why I'm mad at a lot of rappers right now for comments that they made and comments that they didn't make. I feel like a lot of influential people could have really lended their voice when we needed it. And I think it's that people just want to play the 50. They don't want to hurt their brand, so they're like, I don't want to touch on certain topics when the people, your fans, some of your fans are looking for you. We need you right now. Like, so it's just
They're
sad.
not musicians ain't leaders though, bro. I mean, they could be.
They could be. You got the
but
potential to be.
I don't really. I guess unfortunately, I don't really have a lot of faith in most of them.
Right.
You know, but there were some. They did that Baltimore concert. Prince came down there. Hove,
big
B,
shout out
they
to
was
Prince.
all down there.
Shout out to Wale too. Wale came and talked to the people.
How did you feel that concert went for the city?
That was a big look. That was a big look for the city. Definitely. Big shout out to Prince and them.
And he put out a song too, Baltimore, right?
Yeah.
So you have music.
Yeah, we got
that's
music.
a good transition. What's the name of the? Tell me what the whole thing is.
Like I said, my name is Magic 200. I've been a Baltimore artist for quite some time now. I got a record coming out with Kofi Black. Actually, Kofi Black is from Staten Island.
Okay.
So he got the whole Eric Gardner.
That's right.
So we could relate. So we got a track coming out called We Did It. And it's gonna be a big record. We probably dropped it in about 3 weeks.
Okay.
So it's gonna
music
be big.
video, everything.
It's gonna be big.
When y'all drop this song, we're gonna make sure we feature it. Are you also gonna talk? Does this song speak to? Because I know there's footage. You know, you guys were instrumental in bringing a lot of the Crips and the Bloods together.
It's gonna be
getting all facets of the community to work together.
Yeah, absolutely. So y'all gonna see some of that footage too.
What was that like? Talk to me about ironing that out, you know, and getting everybody to be like, yo, listen, we all from the same neighborhood, all this Crips, Bloods, divided lines, Muslims, Christians, Catholics, whatever you are,
Let's do this,
rich,
yeah.
poor. Like, talk to us. Y'all was on the forefront of that. Talk to us how that worked out for y'all.
It wasn't as hard as people think. Actually, it was.
People knew what time it was.
People knew what time it was. It started from a DM, and like I say, I got affiliated with gangs at the age of 16, 17. So people already knew me from the past, whether it be negative, positive. I built a name for myself in Baltimore City. So when I hit bro up, like, look, this is what we need to do. He was like, man, that's a big move. I'm with it. I can hit some of the people I know. You hit some of the people you know. We sent the DM out, tagged about 20 people. And it just rolled over. We picked up. We got maybe I want to say 20 of us, Crips, Bloods, BGF, few Muslims, and we marched down City Hall on our own. We met the rally. We met the people at the rally, and it was actually some Crips and Bloods already down there. So it was like we just helped capitalize on that movement, and it just became a viral thing. And I think a couple of cities actually picked up on it, if I'm not mistaken. That they're doing the truce right now, like Philly, Oakland. A lot of people are trucing up. We trying to make this thing.
Oakland's always ready.
Yeah, Oakland is ready. They stay ready. That's one thing I say about Oakland. We just trying to get it nationwide though, man. Because the more we stick together, the bigger impact we can have.
And going back to what you said, you all do believe that a part of progress becomes us taking responsibility for our actions, us taking responsibility for graduating from high school, trying to move into higher education, and just being active participants in our community, whether it's voting in the whole thing. Is that how you got? Because there are people who are like, yo, fuck the system, tear it down. It ain't working. There are people on that side, and there's people on the other side. It's like, listen, if we're active, if we participate, we can make this work in our favor. It could work for us if we're willing to work with it and for it. Right. I mean, where are y'all at in that spectrum?
No, that's part of the reason why we're here right now, because when all that stuff started to unfold, as people in our community and like being leaders and just kind of, we've been out there for so long, you know what I mean? We said there's a responsibility that we can take amongst each other because we have a voice in this place and in this time. So that's what we did to show people, look, hey, you don't have to necessarily be this or that to step up and stand for something, you know? And it was just that perfect time. And it's really been, like he said, it's really been a snowball effect happening afterwards, because now a lot of different places are doing the same thing we did in Baltimore, even if they're doing gang truce or if they're just doing rallies and marches. I've read and I saw things where they're marching against police brutality in Israel.
Yeah, no, all day.
Yeah,
so. No, that's something they do heavy out there.
Yeah.
I really appreciate y'all coming by to talk one more time. What's the name of the song we waiting on? Who's it with? And when's it coming out?
We got the record coming out called, let me get this for you right now. We Did It. It's called We Did It. It's by Kofi Black. He just put the record together. He put the hook together for me yesterday. It's a big record. Kofi Black. He's from Staten Island. Look out for him. Dope artist, and look out for me, Magic 200. I'm bringing y'all a lot of new music this year.
All right, man. Feel free to communicate with us, and I'm gonna say this for anybody listening and watching right now. And y'all hear me go on these tirades a lot. You know, America is about that money. And you either gonna get money with it or they gonna get money off you.
Exactly.
So that's just how it works. I know a lot of it's not fair, it's not this, it's not that. They never told you it was gonna be fair. And, you know, a lot of us are growing up in a time where everybody talks about, you know, how they feel and their dreams and this and that, and all of that's good and great, and you should have those things. But you should also be focused on how are you going to improve your way of life and your family's way of life through putting in that work, right? Because when you look back a couple of generations, you know, you never heard granddad talking about, you know, well, you know, I wanted to be a rapper. No, granddad got his ass up every day, went to that shipyard, put in that work,
and
saved, and then complain about it. You know, and I think we got away from that hard work aspect that a lot of us was raised on, because, you know, we started, you know, just thinking that it was all good.
Mm-hmm.
You know,
settling.
Yeah, we say, you know, you got them video games in your house, you thought it was sweet. You know, you got a flat screen on the wall, you thought you made it.
The idiot too.
Yeah, you thought you made it with that flat screen on the wall. I got news for you, Jack. If you paying rent, it's not yours.
Right.
If you're on government assistance, it's not yours. They will come and take that from you. And that's the world we live in today. Mm-hmm. You know, you like, oh, this is my block. I grew up here. Nah. If you don't own nothing, it's not yours. They coming to take it. They coming to take it. And a lot of these scenarios that we seeing with the pressure that police are putting on low-income people to make them feel uncomfortable in their place of residence, to hopefully get them to move out of the city, because the prices in the city is going up, because they want to charge for that prime real estate, so they can move you and that factory job to the suburbs, so you could spend less if you want to out there. But the rich people want that prime real estate. And that's going to keep happening in this country. I don't see it stopping.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
and it's real.
Unfortunately,
it's real. This is capitalist America. I'm just saying what it is, man. Just so everybody can
no cut.
We need everybody to understand that bigger picture, though.
It's a bit, because ain't no handouts. Mm-hmm. Ain't nobody waiting for nobody no more. That's a wrap.
Mm-hmm.
You know, and I think a lot of that has to do with the economic climate of the whole planet.
It's blue and green, not black and white.
That's real. That's real, man. I appreciate y'all, man.
Man, that's
appreciate
no problem.
You, bro.
Anytime, we definitely be back.